Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box. Master of the Universe. It's the week 5 review. Another fantastic week in the Family Fantasy Football League. And in this edition of Banter in the Box, we are bringing you the game week 5 winners and losers. 4 winners who will all pick up a manager of the season points. And 5 losers who, where they had them, will all lose a manager of the season point. 5. That's harsh. I was feeling harsh. We've got the meme of the week. Finally, some banter returns to the Family Fantasy Football League. We've got a new segment, which might be a car crash, but we've got to try and shake up this season. And a manager of the season update. Did anyone get that who the fuck is that they rolled over for a 5th time and was worth 5 manager of the season points? All will be revealed later in a week where no less than 7 managers went into the transfer market, making a total of 16 transfers, including the number 1 rated manager Arden Diamonds, who played his one and only permitted wildcard tactical gambit, spending £5 million, which allowed him to make multiple transfers in a single week at no points cost. And he made 6. So unhappy was he to drop to a lowly 6th in the table. That's not good enough for the number 1 rated manager. So he's gone early with his wildcard, changing over half of his team. And also, it's all going on in the Holmes house, haven't jot a clue manager James Holmes also used his one and only permitted wildcard tactical gambit, but also became the first manager this season to play one of his 3 permitted Oi is Mine tactical gambits, which allowed him to purchase a player that already belonged to another Family Fantasy Football League team. Those 2 gambits cost him £10 million, but James, desperate to prove that his 3rd place finish in his debut season 2 years ago was not a one-season wonder, and he's languishing in mid-table, so he's gone early with his wildcard tactical gambit. So, 7 managers, 16 transfers. It's only game week 5. Sashama's FC, who's having a horrendous season, made an 8th transfer of the season in game week 5. Unbelievable. But your game week 5 winners, take a bow. Clockhouse Rangers manager, great Uncle George Moody. When was the last time George was a game week winner? I cannot remember. Climbed 7 places to the heady heights of 11th in the table. You have to go back to the 17th of September 2021, just over 2 years ago, for the last time George was as high as 11th in the table. Take a bow also. Sexy Alexi Lagos, Greece Lightning, jumping 3 places to 2nd. And you have to go back to the 29th of October 2021, almost 2 years ago, for the last time that Sexy Alexi was as high as 2nd in the Family Fantasy Football League table. The big news, take a bow. Masters of None, Jack Hoxby. New name for this season, and it's paying off. Jack is competed in his 16th season in the Family Fantasy Football League, and this week he climbed 5 places to the top of the table, and Jack has never ever occupied top spot in all 16 seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. The new name is working, son, but the biggest game week 5 winner, 1 week after being a game week 4 loser, take a bow. Debut manager Chicken Tikka Mo Salah Jordan recorded his first ever weekly win with 63 points which was a personal highest weekly total for Jordan, and he was the biggest climbers in game week 5, climbing 8 places up to 16th in the table. And that means in this his debut season, Jordan has picked up his first ever manager of the season point. How quickly fortunes turn around in the Family Fantasy Football League. So 1 manager of the season point to those 4. Conversely, the game week 5 losers, hide your head in shame. Well, I mentioned him earlier. The number 1 rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League fell 3 places down to 6th. You have to go back to the 26th of May for the last time Mr. Holmes was as low as 6th in the Family Fantasy Football League table. Hide your head in shame also, Legends 23 manager Keith Simons. Keith fell a place down to 12th. And also the 26th of May is when you have to go back to find the last time that Keith was as low as 12th in the table. Hide your head in shame, defending champion Ontario Grizzlies manager Neil Hatch. He fell a place to 13th. Neil, our defending champion, has not been as low as 13th since the 3rd of February 2023. Hide your head in shame, Sash Hammers FC manager Wayne Robinson. What is going on with old Plier Taps? Fell 2 places to 23rd in the table. Wayne has been in the Family Fantasy Football League for 23 seasons. He's never ever been as low as 23rd in the table. But the biggest game week 5, that's the second week in a row as well. Wayne has been a game week loser. But the biggest game week 5 loser, hide your head in shame, Megan Hoxlade Chamberlain. Megan Hoxby has already recorded a weekly win this season. But for the second consecutive week, Megan is a game week 5 loser. The lowest scorers in game week 5 with just 13 points meant she dropped 3 places to 25th in the table. You have to go back to the 5th of May for the last time Megan was as low as 25th in the table, where they had them 1 manager of the season point lost for those guys. So previous meme of the week was submitted by none other than the big Bostocockless manager Niall Ponsford. He posted this on the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook group in response to Jack's boasting about being 6th in the Family Fantasy Football League table. Niall Ponsford said, "Move over Ontario Grizzlies, my ex-gaffer is my new rival now." So he named Masters of None as his main rival after Jack posted that now he was called Masters of None. He was going to win the league, the cup, and the manager of the season. Do the unprecedented, never been done before treble. That's what Jack was telling us all a few weeks ago, and that is how Niall responded. Well, as I mentioned earlier, Jack, for the first time in history, has gone top of the Family Fantasy Football League. But during the week when I was sending the updates, he climbed to 3rd in the Family Fantasy Football League. He'd never been that high at that point. And he sent this meme in to, not that, that's just a picture of Jack. He sent this meme in to the Family Fantasy Football League. It was a cute meme, Niall Ponsford, but unfortunately you're next. So I'm going to have to come at you with everything I've got. And then he crossed out the people that he'd overtaken. Juan Veron, Arden Diamond, Grease Lightning. For some reason, the Mad Hatter never got mentioned in these memes, and he's been flying high all season. But there you go. And Jack had Niall Ponsford in his sights. Well, that made me smile. So 1 manager of the season point to Jack for the meme of the week. But actually, didn't take him long. A couple of days later, he's toppled the big Bostocockless and sits at the top of the Family Fantasy Football League. Now, new segment, which might be a car crash, but we're going to try it. We're going to run with it. We're going to see how it goes. So many ways in this can go wrong. One, the technology might not work. Two, you might find it completely and utterly dull. But needed to try something to try and shake up the banter because it's all been a bit quiet. So we're going to introduce a new segment, which isn't going to run every week. It's going to be intermittently, and it's called Chairman Chats. I'm going to sit down with a Family Fantasy Football League manager, and we're just going to chat. Family Fantasy Football League, or maybe non-Family Fantasy Football League subjects, who knows. Now, who am I going to select first? Well, because I'm going to need some help with the technology, I've selected Masters of None manager Jack Hoxby to be the first manager that I sit down and chat with, because Jack can help me do the technology, because he's got a degree in media studies. The rest of the managers know nothing about technology. So, here's what you need to do, because there's an opportunity for you to earn Manager of the Season points. I need you to all email me, subject heading, Chairman Chats. Email me one question. You can only give me one question. One question that you want me to ask Jack. The one question that if you could ask Jack yourself, you'd ask him. Send it to me and I will ask Jack that question, but you can only submit one. I'm going to ask the questions to Jack anonymously. I promise. I won't reveal who the question asker is. And the reason I'm going to do it anonymously is because at the end of our chat, I'm going to ask Jack to tell me which question he thought was the best. And whichever question Jack chooses, that manager will earn 3 Manager of the Season points. So, to possibly earn those 3 Manager of the Season points, you need to email me with the subject heading Chairman Chats, the question, only one question, that you want me to ask Jack. And then I'm going to sit down, me and Jack are going to have a chat. We're going to record it. I'm going to ask him all the questions. We'll see where it goes. And if I think it's even mildly amusing and banter provoking, I'll post it on the Family Fantasy Football League YouTube channel. Not sure when it's going to happen. Might be very soon. Might be weeks away. But get your one question that you want me to ask Jack. So, who the fuck is that? It's been rolling over for 5 weeks, so it was worth 5 Manager of the Season points. Shrimpers FC manager Stephen Lee thought that was a picture of yours truly, Chairman's Choice. I'm fairly certain, I haven't checked, but I'm fairly certain that somebody's already guessed me for this one. So that is an incorrect answer. The good news, Mr. Stephen Lee, is like last week when Mark Benwell was the only manager that had a guess. This week, you are the only manager that's had a guess. So you earned 1 Manager of the Season point for taking part, which means the Manager of the Season table looks like this. This guy, Niall Ponsford, was leading the Manager of the Season table, but it's all changed. Here's the top half. There was also a lot of change in the bottom half of the table. But here is the top half. Neil Hatch was a game week 5 loser, so he drops to 14th on 4 points. George Moody was a game week 5 winner, so he climbed up to joint 9th on 10 points. Stephen Lee, just for having a go at the who the fuck is that, he climbed up to joint 3rd on 13 points. But it's Jack Hoxby who got 2 points. 1 for being a game week 5 winner and 1 for sending in the meme of the week. And he goes joint top with Niall Ponsford on 14 points. It's turning into some rivalry. And Jack is indeed top of the league. Joint top of the Manager of the Season table. And obviously still in the cup because it hasn't started yet. Is he going to do the historic treble? Or is Niall going to do the historic treble? Or, given that it's only September, will somebody else do the historic treble? Or will no one do the historic treble? These are the questions that are all going to be answered at some point between now and the end of the season. So we're rolling it over again. It's a picture of a current Family Fantasy Football League manager, and it is now worth 6 Manager of the Season points. Remember, you only get one guess per week per manager, but if you get it right, 6 Manager of the Season points, which may put you in pole position to win £15 million of free tactical gambits to use next season. That is your Banter in the Box for this week. I'll be back next weekend for the Game Week 6 review. Until then, take care.